Today we embark on a special mission to answer what may be mankind's most important question. When man first puts poultry into hot oil, everyone asks, what exactly is the best fried chicken? Yes, that's right. Today we'll be ranking every fast food fried chicken that we can find on this tiny island, because I am Crinacle, the world's best fast food reviewer. So as with my fried chicken burger ranking list, there must be some rules and regulations that must first be ironed out. First, we're talking about fast food fried chicken. I know for a fact that your mom and pop hole-in-the-wall fried chicken is going to be miles better than anything that you're going to find in a shopping mall. But at some point, we have to put our foot down. We can't review every single fried chicken available everywhere in the world. So we're just going to limit ourselves to simply the fast food joints. That means that one of our main criteria in choosing our chain of choice would be the fact that you could find them in at least 3 countries, with some exceptions that I'll explain later on. And of course, the fact that it has to be fast food, so actual restaurants are out of the running, even if they have chains. So Nando's, you're okay, but you're not it. And in terms of the ranking criteria, we go by 5 pointers: the breading, the seasoning, the juiciness, the tenderness, as well as, well, the overall taste. I won't be going through all of the pointers with all of the chickens today, but they'll definitely be in the back of my mind, and of course a factor when choosing its final ranking. So without further ado, let us begin. And what better fried chicken to start off than with, well, I wouldn't say the king, but at least the Colonel. Yes, thank you, my butler. The classic, the tried and true, the one that you would find everywhere, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. We have chosen the original recipe chicken because the hot and crispy one, I feel, doesn't quite represent the true intent of KFC, if you will. So without further ado, KFC original recipe, the thigh. You know, that's actually better than expected. I went in full on expecting to completely rag on KFC, but it's actually not bad. A bit on the saltier side, I would admit, especially if you have read my fried chicken burger ranking list, where I've said that the Zinger was one of the saltiest things I've ever had on planet Earth. I'm just gonna stop at one bite. I'm not gonna fill up before the rest of the contestants, but for now, let's look at the ranking list. Oh yeah, classic Crinacle right here. So obviously we are going to relook at everything before we finalize all the rankings. But for now, KFC should be ideally at the middle of the road because, you know, it's KFC. The standard, the benchmark, it's the Colonel. You probably already had this before. Let me get my my palate cleanser, not Spawn. So before I forget, every single fried chicken piece will go through the air fryer for about 2 to 3 minutes to just even out the playing field. We want everything to be hot and crispy, just so that we don't accidentally, you know, serve up a cold piece of meat. Next up, since we are still in the American hemisphere, let's now try Texas chicken. Yes, thank you, my butler. So Texas fried chicken is obviously not as popular as KFC, but they've also been consistently ranked higher than the Colonel. I'm not sure it's because it's cool to rag on the mainstream guy, but it is what it is. But now let's put actual taste buds to the test. Is Texas fried chicken going to be at the top of the list? Is interesting. I don't like it as much as KFC. It's less salty, crunchier batter, but I wouldn't say more flavorful batter. The meat is not as juicy as KFC, interestingly enough. I think the thing that really throws me off on Texas chicken is that it's notably more greasy than KFC, which kind of, it's not something that I quite like. I don't like to bite a chicken and just get a mouthful of oil, for example. It's not a terrible fried chicken, not the worst I've had, but I would say 1 tier down. Hit me with it. Yep, there we go. Texas. For now. All right, what's next?
Popeye.
Popeyes. Popeyes, thank you, my good man. Lots of batter. Can be good, can be bad. Oh, it's hot. Yep. There we go. Ooh. That's how you know that we're giving things a fair shake. We make sure that they're nice, piping hot without, you know, losing all that moisture. Just 2 minutes in the air fryer. I want to say maybe it's a mistake to start with KFC because now everything kind of tastes bland. The meat is noticeably rubberier, on this. I need a second bite. Maybe I just got a bad angle on this. I'll say right now, this is probably the most neutral of the three, if that makes sense. Taste is not salty like the KFC, not quite as, I wouldn't call the Texas chicken bland, but it's definitely a bit more flavorful than a Texas chicken. Batter is kind of in between. KFC is definitely the most limp of the three right now. The Texas chicken is the most crispy, the most batterful, but this is kind of like in the in-between. I think it's a very nice flavor that doesn't overpower anything. You taste the chicken, it's just that, yeah, maybe some parts of it can be a bit too rubbery, I'm not sure why, but it's not, there's no greasiness that I detect here that was on the Texas chicken. Hand me, tentatively, A tier, but of course, as with any ranking list, this might change. Bring it over, the next hero of the American people. I forget what it stands for again. I said it in my burger video and I still forgot. That's how unmemorable their names are.
The A is for Alan and the W is for Right. You learn something new every day, don't you?
Anyways, A&W, the kind of weird addition to this ranking list because obviously they're not known for fried chicken. But hey, we're looking at fast food joints, and as long as they have it, we try our best to put it into this list. We kind of missed out on Moss Burger in that respect, but maybe next time. All right, A&W, known for their root beer mostly, but we'll see whether or not their fried chicken stacks up. This is giving KFC. The juiciness, admittedly, is going to be on the lower end of the scale, but the taste, more specifically the saltiness, is kind of on par with KFC. The batter is kind of on the thinner side, like KFC, not quite as big as voluptuous as with on Texas chicken and on Popeyes, but you know, to some people's taste, to some people's disdain. Personally, I would say yes, it's very much kind of inspired by, in the same league, the same ballpark as the KFC chicken, and if you would ask me, yeah, I'll say I'll put that B tier. Hand it over, slave. Perfect. Next one would be an interesting curveball. McDonald's, not known for their fried chicken, and in some places they don't even serve fried chicken, but over here they do, the McCrispy. You know, after thinking about it for a while, I have to dock points for the lack of juiciness of the A&W. Down you go. If it's basically the same as KFC but less juicy, then clearly it has to go down a tier, right? Right? Yes, the McCrispy. Now, full admission, I've had this plenty of times, but usually not as a standalone. I don't buy the like 2-piece, 3-piece meals and then have it as an actual meal. Usually I have this as on the side, 1 piece at a time. I can kind of predict where I'm going to place this actually. Oh yeah. Right off the bat. This is dry as shit. The McCrispy. Relative to everything else, it is the driest, for sure. On its own, in a complete vacuum, I order the McCrispy a lot because it's kind of like, oh, I just want some extra protein with my meal. I order it. It's garbage, but it's my garbage. One more bite doesn't change it. It is dry. Flavor-wise though, I think it's one of my favorites. The batter is on the slightly thicker side. The flavor is nice, but not very complex. Just really more salt and pepper and nothing much else. I think the main thing that really makes the McCrispy not great is, again, the juiciness. It feels like they have left this on the warming counter for like 5 hours too long. And it turns out that when you do something like that, you don't get any more water, any more moisture in your protein. For now, based on the absolutely atrocious performance on the juiciness front, F tier, even though I eat it a lot. Now let's talk about a chain that you probably have not heard of before, but still fulfills our criteria of being in at least 3 countries, and that is our own homegrown brand, Four Fingers. They're trying to be a bit Korean-y in the way that they present fried chicken, but you know, still within the realm of being fried poultry. Now, they don't serve your usual thigh or breast. Instead, they serve drumlets as well as winglets. So it is going to be slightly different from the rest of the contenders, but we'll still try to be fair. So the 4-fingered drumlets, let's try it. Right, first of all, flavor-wise, it's nice, but it's also a bit unfair because, again, they're trying to be a bit Korean, so they're using kind of like a soy garlic coating on top of their batter. So it is notably sweeter than everything else that we have currently tried thus far. But the odd thing is the batter, whether or not it being due to the fact that it's drenched in sauce, is the limpest out of all of them, even limper than KFC. The batter is also noticeably separate from the protein, so that kind of gives it a bit of a uncanny valley, if you will. Not quite something that I like. As a fried chicken though, I still like it. It's not terrible. I would still eat the hell out of it. It's just that in comparison with everything else that we have tried so far, it's just so different that I'm not sure exactly where to rank it. I guess if we kind of take the flavor aspect out of my mind for a moment, this wouldn't actually be my first choice at all. I'll put it maybe at C tier, not quite F tier. Yeah, maybe C. Yeah, I want to hashtag support local, but local has to be good. We still haven't got our S tier yet. Where is the S tier fried chicken? I would offend so many people. Ah yes, our friends down southeast. Jollibee. It is pronounced Jollibee. Now, I remember that I've ranked their chicken burger one of the top 3, I believe, in my fried chicken burger ranking list. So I have high hopes, especially for the fact that the Pinoys are extremely prideful people, and they may kill me if I put it anywhere under B. Oh, hot. Oh, hot. Wow. Oh, it's so good though. And then a test bite. Now my thought process is not where is it on the list, but whether or not I should put it on A or S. This is kind of like the good parts of everything. The batter is not too thick, but not too thin. The flavor, nicely done. On the saltier side, but I'm a guy who likes the flavor that way. Juiciness is there, great. Tenderness, solid. Everything is just kind of A's across the board. And I feel like because it's so consistent in every regard, that I have to put it in S. The Pinoy's done well. Straight up there. I think this might be my favorite. Wingstop, yeah. Wingstop. I'm not exactly sure what the history of Wingstop is, but they've been clearly proliferating at an increasing rate. They've been all over the world, many different countries, and of course they're here in our tiny little island. Now, Wingstop is an interesting choice in this ranking list because they are more known for their toppings, their sauces, their dipping sauces to be exact, and so there's not really a classic option, an original recipe option, if you will. Everything is kind of just either drenched in sauce or like powdered with something. And so I feel like the fairest way to judge the Wingstop wing would be with the garlic parmesan option, because it's just kind of sprinkled down all over and you can kind of ignore the garlic parmesan in a way, and you can still kind of taste the batter because the batter isn't ruined by the saucy sauces. So Wingstop, I eat this a lot. I'll be honest, I'm personally very biased towards it, but with all these restrictions in place, not putting dipping sauces on it and, going for one single flavor, I think it might not land very high on the list. I'm trying to hit the non-powdered end of the chicken. Do we have the ranch sauce?
Yes, we do. This is cheating though.
It's cheating. I'm not gonna judge it on with the ranch sauce, but it is the ranch sauce that makes it. Goes from like a C to an S. Okay, but for real though, as simply fried chicken is definitely not the best. It's not quite as juicy. The batter is kind of inconsistent. It's not quite karaage style, but it's also not quite as good as the rest of the contenders. Yeah, really just buy Wingstop for the flavors. And they have many different flavors, some of which would be my favorite, for example, kecap manis, or maybe even the garlic parmesan as well. And of course, let's not forget the absolutely addictive ranch sauce. I love this so much. I'm going for it all. But what we're here to answer is what is the best fried chicken, not what is the best sauce, what is the best flavor. So we really have to drill down here. So in terms of the criteria that is related to the fried chickenness of the Wingstop wing, it's not exactly what I would consider S tier or even A tier for that matter. This, I would say C tier. But again, the moment this comes into the equation, my God, this whole thing can be thrown out. And for our final fried chicken, we're gonna do a bit of cheating here. It doesn't quite fulfill our criteria of being in at least 3 countries, but I feel like it should be at least added into this ranking list in solidarity of it being a Singaporean brand. Yes, the pride of the Singaporean race. Ow, that's hot. Being fair is hot. It's gonna be a bit unfair because the part that was selected is part of the breast, so it's gonna be noticeably less moist than the rest of the contestants. But even then, it's still...
Fuck you!
I'm going to kill that driver. So it's gonna be noticeably less moist and or tender than the rest of the contestants. But even then, it's still a damn good fried chicken. Flavor-wise, Arnold's is gonna be my favorite, but at the same time, I also know that most of you probably won't get to taste it, so it's kind of an unfair comparison at this point. But what really makes Arnold's is not the individual pieces that they serve, but rather the part of the spring, the entire spring chicken that they fry up and then serve to you. And of course, we can't just put the entire chicken here, so I've selected the drumstick. Oh yeah. Can you capture this on camera? It is moist. And it's been sitting there for like 5 hours. We just flash fried it on the air fry. And it's still just absolutely glistening with juice. Make no mistake, if Arnold's was actually eligible for this competition, it would also be an S tier. Maybe even one step higher. But for now, yeah, you know, it's not quite international. It's only available in Singapore. Still a fast food chain, technically, but purely local. That's so good. And it's not salty either. Perfect amount of seasoning balance. Arnold's, stick it all the way into the corner because technically it's not allowed to exist. So where do we stand here? Can we get all of the chickens here so I may compare them? Now we have all the chickens here for direct A-B comparison, so you know that it's an objective, proper experiment. KFC still has the limpest batter of them all, but it is like a good balance of everything else. I must say, in terms of moistness and tenderness, KFC still is one of the top tiers. It's just that the main criticisms is, yes, the batter is a bit too limp. It can be a bit too salty, but yeah, at least in terms of the original recipe chicken, solid fried chicken. Yeah, Popeye's, I'm still kind of split on whether or not it deserves that high of a ranking. I like it. I don't detect any of the greasiness. It's still moist, it's still tender, it's not dry at all. Flavor-wise, again, a bit more neutral, but I appreciate it. I like that they're letting the flavor of the chicken speak for itself rather than trying to spam, like, let's say, salt, just to make sure that you think there's flavor. Yeah, I am not in love with this one. It's greasier and the flavor is not quite there. Okay, now I need to A/B test between A&W as well as KFC. Because now that I've tasted them more closely together, they're not quite as adjacent as I initially made them out to seem. You know what, I can't pick. Flavor-wise, I would say they're equal. Yes, KFC is gonna be more moist and tender compared to the A&W. But apart from that, batter-wise, A&W wins by a landslide because, again, a very limp batter coming from KFC. Now that I'm comparing them between the two, it is a toss-up. Wingstop still kind of belongs in C because it's, again, being carried by the sauces. Still decent, but yeah. Let me just double-check Jollibee again. It's just an excuse to eat more Jollibee, though. Oh yeah, that's a tier above. Realize that I'm not touching the McCrispy because fuck that. I think that's it. I think I've done it. A nice distribution as well. I'm not being intentional about this. It is truly what I feel. Wingstop, Four Fingers, low tier by virtue of being carried in some way. Texas is just probably the worst out of all of them. McDonald's, yes, the worst fried chicken, but you can kind of forgive them because they're clearly not a fried chicken brand. Now, of course, Popeyes was the interesting outlier, because I always thought that Popeyes was just more known for their burgers and not quite because of their fried chicken. Maybe that's a misconstrued opinion on my part, but now they've actually tried it out amongst all of them. Popeye is not bad. And you know what? I would not be offended if you were to serve or make me go to KFC to eat fried chicken. It's not bad. It's actually not bad. Well, of course, if you were to ask me, if you were to make me the one to determine what is on the menu tonight, it's clearly going to be either Jollibee, or if we're in Singapore, then let's go to Arnold's. And that's it. I believe we've answered humanity's most important question. What's the best fried chicken, at least regionally, I would say, according to this humble food reviewer? It's the Pinoy's, Jollibee. But hey, you don't have to take my word for it. If you are willing to wait a bit longer, I even got my own employees to come and try all of these out and then give their own opinions on the subject. So if you're someone who's interested in that, well, you can always subscribe to the Hangout.audio channel, enable notifications, and then when we do post that video, it'll be served right to you. And to everyone else, well, happy April 1st, and I'll see you guys next year. Don't die. Fuck off.